But I want to live. I'm no warrior. I'm a humble shepherd. And I never said a word to anyone. They go in there and do things. They whisper. I'm afraid to go in. And you can't go in. There's no one in there now anyway. Zadra hasn't been in here for many days. And Erastil willing she won't come again. That accursed witch. I don't know who this Zandra is, but I'd really like to get my hands on her and have a chat. Or maybe just reach for my weapon right away. It speaks a language all its own. But a quick death is too good for cultist scum like her. After all, the fear and torment and pain they put people through. Stay strong, kid. You're not alone. You have allies and your faith. I want to go into the crypt. His resistance is hanging by a thread. His lips are trembling and his voice drops to a whisper. I have the key, but what right do you have? What right do you have? You betrayed your flock. If you have even an ounce of conscience left, you'll give me the key. He gives you the key. Don't go in there.
Something is not right here. I'm glad I was useful to you.
Something over there.
I finished here. Is there more?
Elven notes. Belt of incredible dexterity. Who's using a dex-only belt? No one!
Head on!
Something. Please, allow me. This is where I shine. I'm trusting you. Please forgive me. The struggles never cease. I finished here. Is there more?
I lead. You follow.
I'm glad I was useful to you.
Finian Dismar test report?
I finished here. Is there more?
Onwards!
The first stage of testing was a success. Finian Dismar turned into a sword on command. The sword possesses sufficient sharpness and ability to adjust the wielder's strike. It beheaded a crusader in a single blow. A clean cut, the blade is undamaged. The specimen makes unwanted noises resembling weeping. No reaction to threats. I found the cultist report on their test. They say you were used to kill crusaders. What? You must have the wrong guy. I've never been friends with cultists. I would have remembered something like that. Maybe they caught some other Pathfinder and bent him to their will, not me. I would have remembered. I wouldn't lie to you. I would have remembered. Well, we're making progress. Too bad I don't speak Elven, right? I have a couple of Elven notes I just don't know how to read. Gonna do this number. Prevent locks from jamming. The bloody remains of a person lies out in plain view. There are marks on his bones left by gnawing teeth, some of them human.
Move out!
The diary found in the crypt. The wet nurse refused to feed her. Said the baby bit into her breast too hard and sucked out blood. Book has vanished. Mira slept all day. Her stomach is so bloated. Weird. Glory be to Baphomet, Lord of the Ivory Labyrinth, unbridled consort of Lamastu, father of the Horned Brood. Connive, maul, rut, and build labyrinths of lies in his honor. This is the will of the chosen priest, Zenidra. Oh god. Okay. Burial rites fulfill several functions. They mitigate psychological strain on the parting with the deceased, they neutralize a source of disease-causing miasmas, and they suppress the spread of cannibalistic and necrophiliac acts in society at large. There are many ways of disposing of a corpse: burning, dissolution by harsh chemicals, ingestion by all members of the community, but by far the most popular method is burial. A grave protects the corpse against carrion eaters, serves as a place of remembrance, proclaims the merits of the deceased, and of especial importance, when all safety measures are taken, grave burial prevents the deceased from coming back and visiting their still living relatives. The commander examines a stone sarcophagus resting in the crypt of the Temple of Erastil. It was used as a feasting table for demons until very recently. Bones are scattered across the top of the sarcophagus. Some are easily identifiable as human bone fingers. A human eyeball floats unappetizingly in a clay bowl. Next to it lies half-gnawed ribcage. Yes, the commander decides to examine the symbols on the sarcophagus. Religion roll 20. Social has a plus 20. Nice. Kang recognizes some of the symbols used by Kelid priests. According to the symbols in the sarcophagus lies a priestess of Erastil, Delamere the Blessed. On the lid of the sarcophagus, the symbols form a circle. The commander notices that the seemingly solid slab is actually composed of several pieces in this spot. The hairline joins between the fragments is almost impossible to see. In Sarkoris, there existed a funeral tradition in which the priests would place magical seals such as this on tombs. The symbol on the seals are threatening. I guard the eternal sleep of Delamere. Cursed be any who dare destroy me. Thinks to say a prayer to Erastil. Failure. Kang recalls a suitable prayer, but the stone seal shows no reaction to it. It is likely the priests of Sarkoris worshipped Erastil in their own ways, and the sarcophagus is sealed with a little-known prayer only used in this religion. The seal can probably be pried off with a knife and disassembled. Success. Kang digs the tip of a knife in the join between the seal's fragments. He carefully nudges the blade until the seal clicks and crumbles into pieces and the lid of the sarcophagus slides open. Inside the sarcophagus lie the remains of a female archer. The bones are held together by leather armor, covered in the same symbols as those on the sarcophagus. The skeleton's hands are clutching an impressive bow made from antler. Surprisingly, there is no unpleasant smell from the remains. Have the remains and relics moved to Dresden. The body resting in the sarcophagus looks majestic and not at all off-putting. It is easy to imagine how Delamere looked when she was alive, a regal woman with a proud chin, broad shoulders, and the strong arms of an archer. Her appearance have garnered people's trust, and even after her death, they came to worship her here. And more will come to Dresden now to pay homage to her in their new resting place. New events, the relics of Delamere. Maybe I can extract the relics in the, in Dresden.
Do not waver! Death Note, guide my hand!
Head on!
Well, sorry, bud. There he is right there now. He's getting closer. Fight enemies on the road.
Danger ahead! Make your peace.
Endure this!
Laborane sentes.
Jesus. They do not like Sela.
I will resist!
Die!
Make every strike count. Is this a mock fight? Eternal Rose, I call upon you!
Where's his weapon? What happened to his weapon? He had a sick-ass glaive. And it's just gone. Social attacks the Incubus with Soul Shear. Oh. Oh. That's the name of his weapon. Oh, they're making his weapon better. Oh. Fuck, it'd be really nice if they, like, tell me what these things are. Okay. Well, crap. I mean, at least there's that. At least I know what's happening now.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The light take you!
Prepare yourself!
Let's hear you cry!
You won't survive me.
I lead.
All right.
You follow.
I think that said it was going to take 5 days, which is kind of unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. The time has come for you to visit court. Hold on. To do what? Forming a staff council. Oh, okay. Studying the Sword of Valor. The researchers were divided on what exactly happened to the Sword of Valor. However, they did point out that the banner had belonged to Iomade back in her mortal life, and that it had gained a miraculous property, as if anticipating its ascension to of its owner to divinity. Could the current change be an indication of the commander's great future? Yeah, Soul Shear is currently being worked on. Okay. "12 clerics and 20 rangers will be recruited at my headquarters." That takes 7 days. All units gain Voice of Bell of Mercy feat. Let's issue that decree. And then heal the giants. No, this increases morale by 20. I should wait until my morale is not max. Okay. So a couple of us are tired, so we should sleep soon. Oh, looks like I also need to go to court. Okay, let's go here first.
I need to recover my strength.
Upon hearing word of your victory in the Battle of Dresden, many leaders of Avestan have considered taking a more active, supporting role in the crusade. Fighting demons in the name of saving the world is a prestigious endeavor, especially when the war is going well. The one whose help is accepted first will increase their standing in the political arena, which is why the powers are now competing for the right to conclude an alliance with Mendev before their rivals do. Nerosian has already chosen which one of them is to be favored. Isgar. We've been building an alliance with that nation for a long time, and now the capital is expecting you to address the steward of Isgar with an official offer to support you. Lastwall is Mendev's most trusted ally. If we were asked someone for support, it should be them, the Shining Crusade. What say we invite the Sword Lords of Brevoy to this party? The righteous Mendavian knights just love those hot-headed provincials who will draw their weapons and challenge you to a duel at the drop of a hat. And get this, they win such duels. Nerosian will be ecstatic to have such allies as this. and I hope the demons will enjoy their company as well. Just as a note, we happen to have a neighbor who's got barely any presence in the crusade. I'm talking about Numeria. It's believed to be too wild and barbaric to have any dealings with. How about we show everyone how wild and barbaric tribes can fight and invite them to play a bigger part in the war? Everyone who wanted to come because they listened to their heart is already here. Time to call those who listen to their purse. Drop a line to the Varisian cities, tempt them with nice spoils, and loads of savvy folk will come running. Why does Nerosian decide whose help I should accept? Because you are, with all due respect, one of Her Majesty's subjects. And because it took a great effort for Mendev's diplomatic corps to win Isgar over and ensure you would receive their help. Are you confident that the allies you choose yourself will be as reliable? We can't call everyone for help. I wish we could, but we can't. The Chilaxians... the Chilaxians! And their colonies can't stand the Andorans. Andorans, sorry. Mulfune is at war with Nermathus, Nidal, and Lastwall are at daggers drawn. All of them envy the wealth of Absalom. Protests against the godlessness of Druma and fear the revolutionary plague of Galt. They can tolerate each other in small doses, but an official letter from the commander summoning one of the nations to assist with the crusade shall lead to, shall we say, an eruption of toxic volcanoes across half the courts of Avestan, so I'm afraid you'll have to choose which of your allies is most desirable. What's Woljif doing at this council? I doubt he knows anything about politics and diplomacy. I can see that this tiefling possesses a keen mind and the most important traits in politics, a complete lack of conscience. He would make a terrible leader, but he'll prove useful to you as an advisor. Yep, I traded my conscience for a cherry roll back when I was a kid. Hey, what do you mean terrible? Let's see what the council has to say. Commander, we both realize that Mendev's political interests lie beyond the competence of this council. The decisions have already been made in the capital. Nerosian has shown courtesy and concern for your authority by allowing you to implement the decision yourself. I trust my own council more than the royal council. Indeed, what Her Majesty's most loyal servants possibly know about diplomacy. Let us listen to the council. Social, why do you suggest Lastwall? The Shining Crusade of Lastwall and Mendev have much in common. We protect Galarian from demons. They fight the undead and the legacy of Tar Bafon, the Whispering Tyrant. Like us, Lastfolk are used to internal war. They are persistent, vigilant, and know how to oppose baleful magic. Their swords will aid us on the front lines, and their watchful eyes of the Inquisitors will do much good on the home front, where the spies of the Ivory Labyrinth roam. Yeah, we clearly don't have enough of our own righteous boars. Let's bring more from Lastwall. War dogs and snobs, the lot of them. They'll barge in here and demand everyone toe the line. What benefit do the Sword Lords offer us, Darren? A whole slew of benefits. We'll see fresh blood in the war. Poke the oh-so-formal Nerosians with a stick. Recruit excellent fighters, proud as peacocks, just begging for a chance to prove themselves. And besides, the alliance can be easily arranged. I used to take private fencing lessons from a certain sword lord of high standing. Fencing didn't work out, but her lesson was gorgeous. Darren, isn't that going a little far? We can't make decisions of such importance because you had an affair with a Brevin. Tell me more of the advantages of the partnership with Varisia. Varisia is a real frontier, and the lands are free. Adventurers of all stripes go there to seek their fortune, and sailors there aren't scared of going after sea dragons, krakens, and the thugs, they're not scared of anyone or anything whatsoever. Those daredevils fear no demon. That's exactly the kind of guts we need. And we're looking for allies or henchmen? Even I'm aware that Varisia is a realm of gangs and self-willed despotism. And I just crawled out from under a rock, you know. Do you think Numeria will join us, Len? If we treat them as equals, they will. They may be barbarians by the standards of the lands of Mendev, but nobody can call them cowards, and many of them are descendants of the Sarkorians who fled to their Kelid kin in Numeria. We'll remind them of the time they were wronged by the demons, and the whole clans of Avengers will answer the call. You're so passionate about finding new friends. Together you will, let's see, sit by the bonfire, play some dissonant musical instruments, and pick your teeth with knives. What else do savages do for fun? We dance around naked, obviously. Sorry, I can't bring you along. They'll make fun of me for having such a scrawny friend. There's a reason why Numeria hasn't been invited to join the crusade. Needless to say, I personally do not share the prejudice against them, but not all sovereigns of Avestan feel the same way. Some will find it beneath them to be involved in the same crusade as barbarians. What kind of help can we expect from Isgar? Isgar is a nation locked in a constant territorial struggle with goblin tribes. Countless battles have tempered their armies, taught them not to fear losses, and granted experience in both military craft and cultivation of untamed lands. Their formidable combat sorcerers would be of great use to Dresden. Would you not agree? There is, however, another reason to pursue an alliance with them. Isgar is a protectorate of Cheliax, and with such a mighty patron at their back, they have no shortage of resources or troops. By establishing friendly relations with Isgar, we can strengthen our ties with a powerful neighbor in the south. The value of such an alliance is indisputable. Lady Konami, I do not doubt that your only your inane modesty forbids you from mentioning the innumerable bribes received by Nerosian diplomats for facilitating this alliance. I imagine Cheliax was most generous. However, among the funds that make their way into our armor's coffers, I could not spot a single coin of Cheliaxian mintage. So why should we help you? Unlocks Inquisitors. Infantry units in slaying spellcasters. Unlocks Duelists. Infantry capable of parrying enemy attacks. Barbarians. Powerful offensive infantry. Rogues. Fighters effective at flanking enemies. Sorcerers. Spellcasters that deal damage with combat spells. I kind of like the sorcerers, honestly. Your wisdom never fails you. Nerosian will be pleased to know you're not squandering allies whom have been taking such pains to attract. The battle sorcerers of Isgar, hardened with the clashes with goblins, will serve you well. I won't detain you any longer. When matters of foreign or domestic polities once again require your attention, I will convene the diplomatic council. Hail, Commander. Before you, an aged yet fit, sturdy Garundi stands at attention. His dark skin has an earthy tone to it, and crystals spike forth from where his hair and eyebrows should be, clearly identifying him as Ored. Captain, chair of your staff council by order of Her Majesty King Galforay, here to deliver a report. I'm on the council too. We'll be racking our brains on how to help improve troop morale. I reckon the key is to back up our words with action. Lead your soldiers by example, and they'll eagerly follow. Drawing on my experience as Paralictor, my advice is to maintain calculated moderation in every regard, be it in incentive or penalty, and to be decisive. We've no need for doubts or turmoil. I'm doomed to be your advisor, but do you know what that means? That you are doomed to listen to my advice. To start things off, here is an incredibly novel and deep thought for you. Loyalty, passion, and morale, all of these can easily be bought with money. Commander, permission to report. We've encountered a problem. Although we are still getting volunteers, we're now seeing cases of desertion. Many who joined the Dresden campaign believe their duty has been fulfilled with the victory, and they are not keen on staying in the garrison. Those from Canabras wish to return home and rebuild their ruined city. Lastly, there are those who are afraid of lingering in a place where demons might show up with retaliatory expedition at any moment. My suggestion is to improve living conditions for the privates, raise their pay and give them extra rations, and reward those who have distinguished themselves on the battlefield with commendations and gifts. Soldiers don't want to leave armies that appreciate them. I feel for the fools, but we have to convince them to stay. I think we might get some help from the servants of the gods. They'll tell the soldiers that the danger is not yet past and inspire them to keep up the fight against the evil. As long as the wound is open, the whole world is in danger. We can't just go home and live like we used to, no matter how badly we want that to happen. Most of the Crusaders are volunteers, but they have no right to subvert military discipline. That kind of attitude is tantamount to treason, regardless of who expresses it. We have to identify the instigators, arrest them, and administer harsh punishment to make an example. The problem is quite simply solved with coin, but handing money out to privates is practically throwing it away. We need to pay the officers handsomely, and they'll figure out how to raise their subordinates' morale. What does the staff council do? In short, we make sure that whatever orders are given, they are executed properly. Our job is to keep the soldiers' morale high so that they always follow their officers' commands without question. As for the officers, we look out for any unseemly or incompetent types who subvert the troops' trust. Sela, what do you bring to the council? Pretty self-explanatory. We're not fighting for a sawmill here. This is a crusade against the abyss. When you stand against demons, you bring a paladin. That's a rule that's tried and true very much. I have extensive experience in being in command, and as a Hell Knight, I possess a firmness that some of your other officers may be lacking. The essence of my counsel is to not spoil your troops, but to maintain their discipline strategically. Amidst the chaos of war, a general has to be a beacon of order and purpose for their soldiers. They will be as grateful to receive rewards or lashes from such a general, and most importantly, they won't even think to disobey their orders. Darren, what are you doing here? Mostly, I'm just waiting for it to end. But I have little choice. I'll give you some advice on how to charm your subordinates, but be they people of importance or simple commoners. I'll tell you the biggest secret straight away. Free money. Gold has the most miraculous power there is. Why did the Queen appoint you to preside over the council, Captain Harmotton? I've been in the Osirian infantry for 100 years, fighting 3 pharaohs. Then after I joined the Crusades, I served Her Majesty Galfrey for 2 more decades. I dare to hope that I've gained a decent experience over those years. Sela, what's your plan? The situation is not that dire. Morale is high, and we just won a major victory. So some have let down their guards. Fuck me, dude. We have to call for priests and paladins to get through to the volunteers that it is still early for celebration. If they leave their homes today, Dresden will fall again tomorrow, and the day after, the demons will show up on their doorstep. Servants of the gods are indeed the masters of sweet-talking others into dying free of charge, all through pretty words. But when the choice comes down to inspired preaching or homemade pies, 9 out of every 10 will look to the comfort of their home and at their table. The incentive needs to be more substantial than wasted breath. Regil, what do you suggest? There's no place in the army for a mindset of playing soldier today, then going home tomorrow. These dangerous ideas must be suppressed with the utmost harshness. We identify the most vocal rabble-rousers and exact punishment on them as an example to others. They may be volunteers, but they joined the ranks of the Crusaders. We can't abet in the rejection of their responsibilities, or we'll be headed towards complete chaos and therefore defeat. That's a great plan. If you want your soldiers to run back home twice as fast, they came here of their own volition. We must convince them to stay, not terrorize them into fighting. Darren, your opinion? Our forces are in good spirits. It's just that the euphoria of victory has gone to a few heads. No one can sober them up quicker than the officers, especially those of lower rank. We'll give our dear oafs, all those sergeants and corporals, a bonus on the sly, then promise to sweeten the deal once they've convinced the volunteers to stay. Perhaps they will do so over a beer mug, or maybe with a broken nose. Why bother solving problems yourself when you can push them off to someone else you pay? Your bought loyalty will run out sooner than your gold. Once soldiers turn into profiteers instead of following orders, they will start appraising them. They'll wonder whether or not it is worth their while to obey their general. I harshly need to explain the effect this will have on our discipline. And Harmaton, what would you advise? The volunteers believe that we've almost won. Great. Let's not ruin the pretty illusion. Instead, we'll turn it to our advantage. We'll increase rations and pay for privates, rewarding the most distinguished with commendations and gifts. Who would abandon the victors when they provide you with good food and even better coin? It's naive to expect the troops won't understand that we would just be trying to appease them. An army cannot stand if it's held together by handouts and desperate promises. We shouldn't lie to our soldiers. If we build up a flimsy illusion now, the demons will shatter them later. Those fighting alongside us must recognize the seriousness of the situation instead of celebrating victory when war has just begun. Bribes for officers decree. Crusade morale increases by 15 to 20, but takes 4,000. Hunting down a mutiny. Crusader morale increases by 16 to 25. Recruitment growth of trainable units reduces by 10. The cost of recruiting units increases by 10%. Fuck. Distributing provisions. Crusade morale increases by 10 to 15. Mobilize the paladins. Crusader morale is increased by 5 to 10. Repeatable decree for 30 days. Repeatable decree for 20 days. I'm gonna go with Sela on this one. Sure thing. Faith has always helped me in my darkest hours, and it will help our soldiers too. We just need to talk to them from the heart. Thank you, Commander. Should any other difficulties arise that require your attention, I will deliver a new report. Okay, yeah, the Soul Shear is going to take 5 more days. Nothing I can do about that. I did not realize that that was my weapon. Now I feel kind of stupid. So I should, when I get one of those, I should go look for where the item is. Otherwise, I'll screw myself up again. Is there a way to go to the world map from here? Guess not. I think I have to leave the city for that to happen.
Nenio, you never ask me questions about the Abyss. Every crusader brave enough to talk to me asks me what it's like there, but you never do. I don't mind either way, but why doesn't the Abyss interest you?
My project is called the Encyclopedia Galerionica. The Abyss is not Galerion. That information is beyond the scope of my current research.
Alright, who had a dex belt? You did. You would benefit from that more. Wait, is that... what is that? Chocolate? Yeah, that's fine. Sorcerers. Areas. I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna see if I can attack this demon army and scare it off. Nice. Edge of Force Dagger. How many level 4s? Can't tell what level that is. I don't think so. It looks red. It's probably a 6. Dang, finally, we have 2 surprises in store for you. One of them planned and the other one not so much. Let me tell you about the unexpected one first. Yesterday, one of the cavalry sculptors accidentally shattered Maestro Avon's favorite cup and buried the shards to conceal his wrongdoing. The first consequence of the war that has broken out between our Inspire, our artists. And I'm not talking about clashing styles. The Maestro's discovered the cup's disappearance and declared his own personal crusade against the cavalry sculptors. He's frightening when moved to anger. And the second consequence is this. She opens up her hands to reveal a piece of rainbow that turned into physical matter. This is the Maestro's ill-fated cup. Ever since your power manifested itself here, this place has started to transform things. Not just anything either. When it was discovered, the gnomes were eager to bury just about everything they had lying around, even a couple of their own comrades, with their enthusiastic approval, of course. We even had to ask the Chalderan warriors to rein them in. But we did learn a great deal. It seems the garden doesn't affect unusual items. Burying amulets or magical weapons would yield no results, but if you bury some trivial everyday item, it would be transformed into something marvelous. Is this a manifestation of my power as well? Yes, I've been studying it for some time, but there's no need for an in-depth analysis here. Each item transformed by the garden is imprinted with your power. You might as well have signed your name. What about this planned surprise? Oh yes, just remember to visit Maestro Aventurin of these cavalry sculptors. They wanted to share their own thoughts on the garden's unusual properties with you. And now for the surprise. We've tried to put together everything we know about your power. We started back in Canabras, and now we finally figured it out. It's not like we've gained any particular insight into your abilities, but we have devised a special guiding ritual. Everything you do is linked to the impulses of your heart, beautiful impulses. And now we know how to transport you to the place your heart is calling for at the moment, at any one moment. It might be the gardens of Elysium, or perhaps the domain of Desna herself, if we're right in assuming that she granted you this power. Isn't it just magical to visit Elysium for real? To meet its wonderful creatures? To discover other ways to prove yourself? We're ready to proceed with the ritual at any time if you want. Oh, I know, we'll fly home, or maybe not. But it'll still be fun wherever we go. Is it just me, or have they ignored the how do we get back part? Yeah, exactly how are we going to bring me back? We haven't thought of that yet. We're almost sure you'll be able to come back on your own, or maybe with the help of those you met in Elysium. If it comes to it, we'll figure out where you teleported and send a rescue party to get you. We've got a full court of volunteers here. I need some time to prepare. Sure, just don't take long. What we're doing here is all about your true self and true purpose, after all. The street artist Aventurn. Where's he? Down with the pikeman confectioner, says the inscription on the pebbles.
Head on! I lead, you follow.
Would you kindly dismount, my esteemed colleague? I'm not on a horse, but okay. I'm a cavalry sculptor. My mount is an essential part of my art. You wouldn't think of asking an ordinary artist to put away their easel when discussing art, now would you? The essential part of your art has already tried to chew up my sketch of folder twice. So as regards the gist of our argument... Oh, here's the master of the court. Do excuse us. We were absorbed in a rather heated discussion. What are you arguing about? The same old question that made me ask our good Desnan adepts to invite you over for a chat, Commander. Surely you must have heard already. Ever since you created a garden on this ridge, many items buried here have become quite literally transformed. You've created a truly magical place. The ridge can transform even the most trivial of things. It's hard for me to describe the elation it brings me. This is what true art should be like. It's a reminder that we can always transform our own story into a fairy tale. However, certain creatives differences arose when we began discussing how to put the ridge's miraculous properties to good use. You see, some of the transformed items became edible, whereas others would make a perfect material for mosaic pieces. I would like to create a piece of rupestral art using the latter, but the esteemed cavalry sculptors have other plans for them. Yeah, right. Who in the mind would want to take magical items from a magical rock that turned into a garden right in front of the middle of the world wound and use them for an ordinary mosaic? We've got a better idea, an edible sculpture. We're going to create the most innovative work of art in history, of Mendev or even Galarian, and then let the public devour it. A tasty treat. Hooray! A huge gingerbread demon. Then again, seeing the ridge covered in a beautiful mosaic would be terrific too. Tell me again how the items are being transformed. I'll tell them myself. So all you do is grab some useless thing, put it a hole in the ground, and then poof, it becomes nice and shiny, but it's still useless. Or even better, it becomes edible and tasty and not useless anymore. Yes, exactly as Ivu said. Ever since you turned this patch of corrupted land into a garden, certain items buried in its soil have randomly transformed into something else. Why can't we do both? It's all about what's novel, Commander. The first work of art created from the magical transformed items in your court will be a major event. But the second work of art, not so much. We've already seen that. It's all people have to say about it, so you've got to choose. Make the mosaic. How boring. Once the wretched pikeman confectioners learn of our defeat, we'll be the laughingstock. Please don't get upset. I may be unable to appreciate your ideas, but I do respect your enthusiasm. I will certainly mention you as my friends and supporters in my speech of the mosaic opening. I will need your help in creating my mosaic, Commander. You must obtain suitable objects. I have no idea what objects we will need, probably some simple trinkets, then bury them on the ridge and bring me the mosaic pieces that they turn into. I need at least 30, thank you. Today is certainly a great day of history of art. Transform 30 items.
Onwards!
So how do I bury stuff? Oh. Potions.
Move out! Head on!
Gonna take forever. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here for tonight, everybody.